There are millions of different types of organisms around us. Some are single celled, like bacteria. Some are large sized plants, like mango, pine trees. And we can see huge sized animals like elephants and whales around us. The range of size is not so surprising, but it is the complexity of the structure that is most significant. To study the diversity in living organisms, these are all grouped according to the increasing similarity and from the less complex to more and more complex types. Before going to the diversity in organisms on a broad scale, we should know some basic terms like species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. These are all different category levels of diversity. Now let us start with lowest category, that is species. What is species? It means an organism of a particular kind whose members can be interbreed among themselves to produce fertile young ones. All individuals of a species can normally breed among themselves. Individuals of particular species different from all other living beings. For example, house cats. They belong to one species. They may have some difference among themselves, such as color, height, and the length of the tail, but all can interbreed. That means we can say house cat is one species. Similarly, there are so many horses, donkeys, dogs, like that. All mankind's they belong to one species. Even though we find among the man different sizes, different colors, different hairstyles. Similarly, all people trees, all mango trees, they belong to their respective species. Horse and donkey. Horse is one kind of species and donkey is another kind of species. All donkeys can produce donkeys, all horse can produce horses. But a cross between a horse and donkey, it is possible. It produces new organism, that is mule. It is a cross between a donkey and horse, male donkey and female horse. It is resembled to male parent, that is donkey, in size and shape of ears, legs and hooves, and the shape of the tail and the shortness of the mane, and is similar to female parent, that is horse, in height and shoulder, etc. An important thing is mule is sterile and it cannot reproduce. Similarly, a cross between a horse, male horse, and a female donkey, that is called jenny. It produces hinny and it is also incapable of breeding. Similarly, some other examples of crosses between two different species. Zebra mated with donkey. It produces jenki with ears and back like those of donkey and striped legs and hips like the zebra. Jenki is sterile. Tiger mating with a female lion. It produces tigon. It is also sterile. Jeep. It is the product of goat and a sheep, not only in animals, in plants. Pomato. It is a combination of potatoes and tomatoes and it produces no seeds. An important thing is crossing or interbreeding. It can occur only between two very closely related species. The offspring are invariably sterile. Next, we discuss about the category higher than species, genus. Similar species form next higher category, which is called genus. The plural word for this is genera. For example, let us take crows. You find crows around us at home as well. Hill cow, that is jungle cow. This is found in forest and at hillside. These two are two different crows. This is house crow and this is jungle crow. They are different in size, different in color, different in beak, etc. That is, these two are two different species. They cannot interbreed, and they are crows, easily made out from other birds. And these two kinds of crows belong to same genus, which is called Corvus. A group of genera with certain common characteristics form a family. This is the next category of diversity. For example, lion, tiger, these two are different species, but they belong to same genus. That genus is Panthera. Similarly, domestic cat, it shares some common characteristics with the tiger as well lion. This belongs to the genus Felis, and these two together, that is Panthera and Felis, call a family, that is the larger cat family, which is called Felidae. This includes the genus of lion and tiger and the genus of the domestic cat. Next category is order, a group of related families makes an order. For example, the cat family, that is Felidae, which includes lions, tigers, and cats, and the dog family, which is called Canidae. This includes dogs, foxes, jackals, etc. These two have some common features, and both together form order, and this order is called Carnivora. Next category level of diversity is class. Related orders make a class. For example, the order of different animals, like those of dogs, cats, bats, whales, monkeys, and even human, etc. These are all have some common features such as hairy skin, milk glands, and this particular class of animals is called Mammalia. And the next category level is phylum. This is the largest division in classification of plants and animals, and the related classes combines to form a phylum. For example, the classes of different animals like mammals, birds, reptiles, frogs, fishes, etc. together constitute the phylum. That phylum is phylum Chordata, which have a notochord or a backbone. And the next level is kingdom. The kingdom is the largest division of living beings. For example, kingdom of Plantae, which includes all plants. Kingdom of Animalia, which includes all animals. According to the world classification, which is given by Linus, the entire world of living organism was divided into two kingdoms. One is kingdom of Plantae. This includes all plants. Another is kingdom of Animalia. This includes all animals. But this scheme has some drawbacks. Do you know bacteria and fungi? Are they plants or animals? Yes. According to this classification, they are plants. But they have no chlorophyll and do not carry out photosynthesis, even though we are considering they are plants. So this is one of the drawback. Next one is some single cell organisms such as Euglena cannot be exclusively called plant or animal. They have chloroplasts like the plants, have cell mouth to feed like animals. That is, it possesses plant characteristics as well as animal characteristics. Next one, bread mold or multicellular, but they have nothing like roots stem, and leaves, and they do not bear any flowers or seeds, and they have no chlorophyll. Now, these three groups, these are different from plants as well as from animals. So, these three are recognized as distinct kingdoms: Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, and Kingdom Fungi. And these together with two other kingdoms, that is, the plants and animals, form five kingdom classification. The five kingdom under the recent scheme of classification are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Now first we discuss about kingdom Monera. They are unicellular and prokaryotic. It mainly includes blue-green bacteria and some unicellular algae. These are single-celled organisms. They have no organized nucleus. The nuclear material, that is DNA, is distributed in the cell without being enclosed in a nuclear membrane. This condition of the cell is called prokaryotic. Pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. This condition is called prokaryotic. They are also devoid of membrane bound organelles like mitochondria and chloroplasts. And these are the pictures of bacteria. Three common shapes of bacteria are rods, spirals, and spheres. They can exist as singly, in group, or in chains. The second one is kingdom Protista, more appropriately Protoctista. This is unicellular and eukaryotic. Okay, what is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic? Prokaryotic means no organized nucleus. Eukaryotic means well-defined nucleus with a nuclear membrane, and this include both the unicellular green autotrophic organism as well as unicellular non-green heterotrophic organism. Green autotrophic organism example is Chlamydomonas, and heterotrophic organism Euglena, amoeba, paramecium. And also it includes some multicellular photosynthetic descendants like Pandorina. Next is kingdom fungi. It is multicellular, eukaryotic, and saprophytic. Most fungi are made up of thread-like hyphae rather than cells. There are many nuclei distributed in the continuous cytoplasm. Examples: bread mold, toadstool, yeast, penicillium. These are all examples of fungi. The next one is kingdom Plantae. It is multicellular, eukaryotic, and autotrophic. These are made up of many cells, that is multicellular. All of them have chlorophyll and they make their own food by photosynthesis. That is autotrophic, self-nourishing. They include Thallophyta, that is algae, bryophytes, mosses, pteridophytes, that is ferns, gymnosperms, that is pine, etc., angiosperms, that is flowering plants. Thallophyta, it includes all algae. Chlamydomonas, volvax are the examples for this. These are autotrophic as they contain chlorophyll. They have a thallus-like body, that is, the plant body cannot be distinguished into roots, stem, or leaves. They are primarily aquatic. Aquatic means, yes, which lives in water. The next one is Bryophyta. The example for this is mosses and liverworts. The plants belongs to this body have a plant body. They have false root-like structure called rhizoids and leaf-like structures. They are autotrophs. Next one is pteridophytes. This includes all ferns. Plants belonging to this group have a plant body that can be distinguished into root, stem, and leaves. The leaves are often made up of leaflets bearing spores on the underside. They are non-flowering plants. The next one is gymnosperms. The example for this is ficus, pine, fir, etc. The plants belonging to this group bear naked seeds, that is, the seeds are not enclosed in fruits. They may be either trees or shrubs. They bear both male and female flowers. They are of two types, cycads and conifers. The next is angiosperms. This includes all flowering plants, and plants in this group have a highly developed plant body which can be differentiated into root, stem, leaves, flowers, and fruits. The seeds are enclosed in a fruit. They are further divided into monocots and dicots. Monocots means the plants belonging to this group bear seeds having only one cotyledon. The leaves have parallel venation and the root system is fibrous. The example for this is maize, rice, grass, etc. Dicots. The plants in this group bear seeds with two cotyledons. Leaves have reticulate venation. They have tap root system. The example for this is pea, potato, apple, sunflower, rose, etc. The next one is kingdom Animalia. This is multicellular, eukaryotic, and heterotrophic. These are multicellular organisms without cell wall, without chlorophyll, usually mobile, and obtaining food by eating or sucking, etc. That is, these are heterotrophic. Of course, in all these living organisms, we are generally most familiar with plants and animals. Therefore, we should understand what is the distinct differences between plants and animals. Before that, let us take the general scheme of five kingdom classification. The complete living organism is divided into prokaryotes, eukaryotes. Prokaryotes means which are unicellular, unorganized nucleus, and these eukaryotes with organized nucleus. Under these prokaryotes, we get kingdom Monera. Again, eukaryotes, these are divided into unicellular, multicellular. Kingdom Protista comes under unicellular. Again, in multicellular, organism with cell wall, organism without cell wall. Organism with cell wall. Some organisms do not perform photosynthesis. They come under kingdom fungi. Some organisms they perform photosynthesis. They come under kingdom plantae. And the organism without cell wall, it is grouped as kingdom Animalia. Therefore, five kingdom classification is kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom fungi, kingdom plantae, kingdom animalia. This is five kingdom classification.